The purpose of this video is to help you create a tentative outline of your first essay assignment. In this video, we will go over how to organize your essay between thesis statement and your body paragraphs, and also the organization of your body paragraphs themselves. I've created this handout to help you keep that organization. In other words, just to really help you track how you're writing your body paragraphs. I've also provided an example below of how this would look typed out or handwritten, if you wish to do that first. So, the first thing you would want to do is begin with your thesis statement. Remember that the thesis statement has to reflect or answer the prompt, and we'll look at an example in a second. You also want to make sure that each of your body paragraphs, or the topic of each body paragraph, is independently supporting the thesis in one way or the other. Creating an outline is really helpful in this sense because if you were just to start writing like freehand, sometimes you might come across situations where you're repeating yourself, and then you have to take big chunks out of your writing. By creating an outline, you're ensuring that you're not repeating yourself or having those redundancies in your paper. So it helps you, it takes a little longer, but in the end, it helps you keep your ideas a lot more organized. When we go over each of the body paragraphs, I'm looking for 3 specific things. 1, I want to know the purpose of that body paragraph. I want to see a developed topic sentence for that body paragraph, and I would like to see 2 supporting points for that body paragraph as well. Let's look at the example. So, our thesis here states, as a student, it is easy to connect with the 2 articles because they both show that the majority of the students have the same basic fears. They get anxiety from the enrollment process, struggle with inexactitude of academic success, and have issues adjusting to the responsibility college life brings. So, let's look at our body paragraphs and see how each of these body paragraphs is supporting that thesis statement. So this is one of the this thesis statement is one of the thesis statements taken from your second quiz, as you might recognize. This is an actual thesis statement that was submitted by a student for this specific essay, which is why I wanted to use it. Now, the body paragraph 1 has its purpose. Here, the purpose of this body paragraph is going to be summary. Remember that the prompt is asking you to summarize both of the main texts we're reading in this unit. Then it proceeds to include a topic sentence. Remember that the topic sentence should highlight the main points, or in other words, the purpose of that body paragraph as a whole. So here, the topic sentence is, in Brainology, Transforming Students' Motivation to Learn, Carol S. Dweck defines how children gain or lose motivation in school. So, what we're going to do here for the first point is define the mindsets. In order to really understand how Dweck defines how children lose motivation in school, it's important to really understand those mindsets. The second point is how affirmations or praise affects students in different ways. This is also important to understand because it really highlights how children gain or lose motivation in school. So remember that your summaries don't have to be word for word how the author began and ended her study. It's more or less a summary of the main ideas or the important parts of her work that will help you develop your essay as a whole. And we do the same thing here with the second body paragraph. The purpose of the second body paragraph is to summarize. It has a topic sentence that's clear and specific, and 2 supporting points that help get the ideas across from the topic sentence. One thing I would like you to note in both of the topic sentences for body paragraph 1 and 2 is how the writer is introducing the texts. in Brainology, Transforming Students' Motivation to Learn, Carol S. Dweck defines. We can see that up here, here. And I think this is probably one of the most common ways, but then we also see a different way down here. Rebecca D. Cox illustrates how students lose their motivation due to fear in The Student Fear Factor, a chapter in her book, The College Fear Factor. This is a different way of introducing the text. So play around with how you introduce the text. Don't try and introduce it in the same exact way all the time, because then you'll just get bored with your own writing. The next body paragraph, the purpose of that is an analysis. And the following one is the narrative. So remember, the prompt is asking us to summarize the texts, provide an analysis, and to relate. In other words, tell our own stories, a narrative of sorts, of how we relate to the students. I'd like you to review body paragraph 3 and 4 on your own, but at this point I want to go back and see how is the main idea of body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, how are the main ideas really supporting the thesis statement? Well, the thesis statement on its own isn't saying a list of, this is what my body paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to be about, because sometimes we see thesis statements as such. We discuss in our thesis statements what the overall purpose of our essay is, and that doesn't necessarily mean summarizing what each of our body paragraphs are going to be. Here, the author or the writer is discussing the 2 articles, or introduces the 2 articles. What are those 2 articles? Well, we're going to give more information in this area of the essay here in body paragraphs 1 and 2. The thesis statement also discusses the anxiety, the struggles with academic success, and the issues adjusting with personal responsibility that college brings. And that's what we're going to really introduce here in the analysis portion and in the narrative. Overall, how not only the students in the college fear factor, but the writer of this essay is having a difficult time adjusting to college life. So the body paragraphs, as you can see here, are supporting the thesis statement to an extent. And why I say to an extent is because as of right now, this is just an outline of each of the body paragraphs. They're not really supporting the thesis yet. The supporting is going to come with the actual explanations and discussions in each of these body paragraphs here. As you can see, this essay has four body paragraphs. Your essay might have 3, might have 5. It depends on how you decide to organize it. Trust your judgment in the organization of your essay. It doesn't have to follow this exact outline. But what I do want to see is however many body paragraphs you choose, I'd like to see the purpose statement to analyze, to summarize, to support, to explain, a clear topic sentence, and 2 supporting points. Also, make sure that each body paragraph on its own is independently supporting the thesis statement. So, in this video, we went over how to create a tentative outline of your first essay assignment. In short, you should have a clear thesis statement and a developed outline of the body paragraphs. If you have any questions about this assignment, please post on the General Course Questions discussion board.